Hello, movie lovers! Bob for Bob's Movie Review here, and today I want to review for you a movie I recently watched called Would You Rather. If you enjoy the video, show it some love and give it a like rating. So I got this one in the November horror pack, and I decided to check it out. This one was actually from 2012, and kind of surprised I never heard of it, and I'm glad I did finally get to check it out. This is a horror movie with a 1 hour and 33-minute runtime. Now, not too long after starting to watch this, I realized I recognized quite a few people, and actually, if you check out their filmographies, there's a lot of people who have been in popular movies or TV shows just with like really small parts or, you know, kind of side characters or whatever. There's a few people that I just want to talk about real quick. Brittany Snow, who is our main character, her brother is or has cancer, and her parents, I presume, are dead. They kind of hinted at there was an accident recently, but they didn't really get into it too much, so it's hard to know exactly what happened. She was in all the Pitch Perfect movies and Prom Night. I'm not sure if I recognized her, but I think there's a good chance you guys might. There's also Jeffrey Combs, who plays Shepard Lambrick, who is kind of the rich guy, and he tells these people if they come to his house and play his game that they could win lots of money. And I couldn't really figure out. I knew I recognized him, but I just could not figure out where. And he as well has been in quite a few things, but I recognized him as kind of like the evil doctor from the remake of House on Haunted Hill. We also have John Hurd, who plays Conway. We don't find out a lot about his character other than the fact that he's in a lot of debt and that he is an ex-alcoholic and he's been clean for 16 years. And he's well known for being the dad on Home Alone and Home Alone 2. And then Eddie Steeples, who plays Cal. I remember seeing him in 2012 Zombie Apocalypse. I've also reviewed that movie if you guys want to check that out. But he has like the most ridiculous haircut. I don't know if it's his real hair or what, but it's hard to take him serious at all in this movie with that haircut. So those are kind of the bigger people that I recognized. If you guys check this out, let me know if you guys recognize anyone. But so we find out that Iris's brother has cancer and needs a bone marrow transplant, and either both her parents have recently deceased or just the mom, I'm not sure. And she had to quit college and come home to take care of her brother, and she's having trouble finding work, and they have no money, and of course his medical bills are a lot, and she's just kind of trying to hold it all together and get by. Her doctor, or his doctor, tells her that there could be a way that they could help pay for it, all the bills. So she goes to meet him, and Shepard Lambrick is waiting, and he says, you know, we can help you out financially, and not only that, but we can also get your brother a transplant right away. So she's not really sure, and then she's called that night about a job interview that she didn't get the job, and so she just kind of feels like out of options, so she decides to go. Now there's 8 people taken there. They're all picked up by cars, and they don't really know anything about what's going on except for that's a game. And so they're taken to this big house, and they're kind of just shut in the parlor to kind of mingle and whatever. And then finally it's dinner time, and then the host comes out and they have dinner, and he says, okay. Well, actually, right at the beginning, and it was kind of funny too, because she's like, oh, I'm a vegetarian, and he's like, oh, well, we don't have anything else to eat. And then he's like, you know what, I'll give you $10,000 just to eat that meat. You know, and then the alcoholic, he's like, I'll give you $50,000 to drink a whole bottle of scotch, you know. And I thought that was kind of funny, like that just they were doing like these stupid things. And so then he's like, all right, now the game's gonna begin. It's called Would You Rather, and basically I ask you if you would rather do one thing or another thing, and you have 15 seconds to answer. or else you'd be eliminated. And then he says, if anybody wants to leave now, now's your chance. And they all decide to stay. And they start out pretty tame. You know, it's more of like, would you rather hurt yourself or hurt somebody else? And then as the rounds go on, the things get more lethal. And there are a few things that I felt kind of squeamish about, although thankfully they didn't really show anything in like really good detail, or this wasn't like a super gory movie. But just thinking about some of the stuff that they had to do was just like, ugh, you know. I didn't want to see it, and I'm glad I didn't. You know. So obviously when he's explaining to them the rules, he mentions eliminating people, which to them they assume they mean, well, they're leaving the game, but to him he means killing them. You know, I guess depending on which side you were on, it was pretty obvious. But so I did enjoy this movie. This is a really, you know, what would you call it, like a really suspenseful movie, you know, like as they're deciding what they're gonna do, and you know, if people are gonna live or they're gonna die. And to me, like in some ways it felt kind of like Saw, maybe not the first one, but just like, you know, how they were like, live or die, you choose, you know. And you really had your fate. When it was your turn, you had your fate in your own hands, but you know, you were also putting your fate in other people's hands. And it was really interesting, and there were a lot of things that I did enjoy, although I feel like movies like this, you know, they're not the greatest, you know. Even the well done ones just aren't the greatest kind of movies, you know, kind of the torture, horror, whatever you want to call it. But I did enjoy this one. I did like it. I thought it had lots of good stuff going for it. I give this one a 6 out of 10. It's definitely worth checking out. I'm not sure how much this is going for on Amazon. I think that the Blu-ray is pretty cheap. You guys might want to check it out. I will definitely have affiliate links in the description if you guys want to order that. I did also like the ending. I thought this had a really, you know, it's kind of like ironic, or they were going for a little comedy there at the end. Just made me laugh a little bit, but I did enjoy this one, as I said. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, be sure to leave it a like rating. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos. Check out the suggested videos. Be sure to check out my website and my Patreon, and I'll see you guys next time.